Hello, and welcome to Chapter 2. In this chapter, we're going to learn CSS. So I think it's appropriate to start with what is CSS? Before we dive in and start writing CSS code and showing you how to style up your website, let's talk about what it is. CSS is an acronym, as you may have guessed, that stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, and the reason that we have CSS is because, first, let's back way up. In the old days of building websites with HTML, all of your styling happened within the HTML tags. And what would happen is you would build many different pages on your website, and you would have to style each element individually on the site. And it became a nightmare because every element had a lot of styling put into it. And let's say you built out your entire website on many pages, and all of your links were, let's say, blue, and you decided, you know what, I want to make all the links red instead of blue. Well, now this became a maintenance nightmare and was very costly for developers to do it because they had to go through the entire site and find every instance of those links and change them from red or from blue to red. Now, that took a lot of time, and that's just one small example. But what CSS actually does, and first of all, it's way more powerful than any sort of styling that we could do before on old HTML sites. But what it allows us to do is you can link a style sheet, a single style sheet where you have all of your styles defined, and then each of your page has one link element that includes that style sheet on your page. And then you can make your changes in one file, and it just updates everything across your entire site. So CSS is very powerful. So before we get going here, I'm going to jump over to my screen, and we're going to create the base of our project. And so what we're going to do is pull up our terminal again, and I'm just going to navigate to the desktop, which is on my home folder. So we'll use tilde desktop. And you can see here, if I print working directory, we are in my home directory, and then we're on the desktop. So I'm going to make a new directory here, and we're just going to call this CSS. You can call it whatever you want, but I'm going to call it CSS. And then I'm going to go into that directory by typing cd for change directory, CSS. And now if I print working directory, you can see that I'm in the desktop inside of the directory called CSS. And within here, what I want to do is I'm going to make a file called index.html, and we're also going to make another file, and we'll just call it about me.html. And you can see that the touch command, I can do many different files all at once. So I'm creating touch, I'm going to create index.html and about me.html. So I'm going to press enter. If I press ls to list my files, now you can see I have two files in there. I'm also going to create another directory in here, and let's just create a directory called styles. And now what I want to do is I'm going to create a file, and what we'll do is do /styles/ and now let's just create a styles.css file. Okay, now CSS files, instead of having an extension of .html, they have a file extension of .css. Okay, so I'll go ahead and press enter there. And now if I cd into styles and list out, you can see I have a styles.css there. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that out now, and we'll close the terminal. And what I'm going to do here in VS Code is I'm going to open a new folder, and we'll go to my desktop here and open CSS. That's the directory we just made. And I'm going to close the welcome screen here, and you can see that I have an about me.html, an index.html, and I have a styles directory, and inside of there I have styles.css. So excuse me one second, I'm going to take a drink here, my throat's still scratchy. By the way, from your perspective, I've been releasing these videos, one or two a day or something, and so every day that you watch my videos, you see me wearing the same clothes. However, I shot a lot of these videos on the same day, and then later I go through and edit them and upload them and everything for you guys to see, but I like to batch my work, and so I'm not going to go and change clothes in between every video that I make. So I'm just going to keep going and see how far I get so that I can give you guys content for a long time to come. But anyways, we're here, and let's go ahead and open up the index.html. I also want to open this up in the browser. So one thing I can do here is I can open my file explorer here, and I'm going to go down to my desktop, and inside CSS I'm going to right click on HTML, index.html, and I'm just going to open this with choose other application here, and I'm going to find Chrome. I think I can just search for it. Okay, I guess that's not going to work right now, so let's see, where is Chrome? Usually it gives me the option to open it. Oh, there it is, Google Chrome. So I'm going to open it there. I opened it in another browser that I have, so I'm just going to copy and paste that here. And you can see I have a blank file. So I actually had the end of our last chapter open here. I'm going to close that, and now we have a fresh project to work in for our CSS. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out exactly the same as we normally do here. And we are going to create an HTML document here. So I'm going to add my doc type. Now, I told you we were going to be a little repetitive here, and so you're not going to have to worry about memorizing stuff because we're going to do a lot of the same thing here. And I'm going to put, chapter 2 CSS. All right, that's all I'm going to put in the head for now. I'm going to go down here and make a body. And inside the body, I'm going to give this an H1. I'm going to put my name here. And underneath that, let's do an H3. And I'm going to put my email address. Now, this isn't a real email address, so don't try to email me here, because I won't respond. The next thing that I want to do is I'm going to go down here, and we're going to put a paragraph tag. And I'm going to put just a little blurb about me. Hello, my name is Curtis. I am interested in becoming, I'm interested in web development. All right. So we'll just leave that for now. And then I'm going to, let's do an H, you know what, let's do an unordered list here. All right, and then let's see, I think I can do a tag called legend here, and inside the legend I can say let's start to list out, think of a resume. Okay, so let's list out some skills that we know. Let's put technologies I'm familiar with. And then underneath there, I'm going to go ahead and do some list items. And we already learned HTML. And we're learning CSS now. And I'm just going to list out some stuff that we're going to learn in this thing. So after CSS, we're going to learn PHP. And then we're going to learn MySQL. All right, and then we're going to also learn JavaScript. We're going to learn Node.js. We're going to learn React.js. We're going to learn Git. All right, that's good for now. So let's go back and refresh our page here. And you can see that we have our headings. And we have this here, this paragraph. And then we have that list that we just made. we're going to leave that for now. I think that's good enough. We're going to come back and do a lot more later. But we want to start kind of styling this up. And so before we get too crazy, what I want to do is just kind of show you the structure of how CSS works. Okay, so in the head right here, what we're going to do is in the head, right below the title here, we're going to create some new tags called style tags. Now these style tags are HTML tags that I can put anywhere, but typically I want to put them in the head of my document. And inside of those style tags, I can write CSS code, and the CSS will then apply to the document in the body. Okay, so let's go ahead now and just for example, I want to show you how this works. So CSS, the way what you do is you first put a target. Okay, so what in your document do you specifically want to target? Okay, we can actually target the body. We can target these H1 tags, H3 tags. We can target all of these different things, and I'll show you that really quick. So the first thing that you do is you put in a target. So what I could do is I can do body, so we can target our body, and then what we're going to do is do an opening and closing curly brace. Now those are right above your enter key or your return key. You'll have to hit shift, but those are what we're going to refer to as curly braces. Okay, now these curly braces here signify the start and end. So we have a target, and then everything that we put inside of this is going to apply to the body. So let's just throw a few things on here that we can quickly see, and you don't have to memorize these, but what's going to happen here is what I want to do. Let me just type this out really quick, and let's do light. Sure, cyan, why not? Okay, so the way this works is inside of these curly braces, so you have your target, your curly braces, and then we have the first thing here is called your property. Okay, this is what I'm going to affect. I'm going to affect the background dash color, and then we follow that up with a colon, and then we give it a value. In this case, it's light cyan, and then we use a semicolon to say that's it. That's all we're going to do with this property. Okay, so if I save that now and refresh, I can see that the background color of my entire body now, you can see it goes all the way to the top and bottom. The background color is this light cyan. Okay, and so that is the structure of CSS. Now, I don't really like that light cyan. It's going to be, let's try light gray. Refresh. Okay, so we got this kind of light gray color, which is still kind of dark, but that's okay. We're going to leave it like that for now. And then the other thing I can do is we can do as many of these type selectors as we want. So if I go down now and I can target something else. Let's say I want to target my H1s. And I want all my H1s, I want the property will be color, and I'm going to make all of them, let's try, sure, let's try brown, okay? And we'll save it and refresh. And now you can see that my H1 tag, because that's what I targeted, is brown. Okay, notice that it didn't target the other heading tag, which is an H3. So let me show you just real quick what you can do. You can do multiple targets in line here by doing a comma. So I can say H1s and H3s. I want both of those to have the color of brown. So if I save and refresh, you can see now that both of my headings have the color of brown. The rest of my text is still the default, which is black. So it wasn't my goal to actually get in and style anything nice or anything. The goal of this video is to kind of explain what CSS is and how you can structure CSS by adding the target and then an opening and closing curly brace. And inside of there, we type a property followed by a colon, and then we type the value of that property followed by a semicolon, and that will be the end of a line. Now we can do many more things in here. I can actually I could do this where I say margin bottom, and we'll just say 0 pixels, just so you can easily see what this does. so that we can have many different properties affected within these targets as well. And if I refresh that, well, that didn't make much of a difference there. So let's see here. What could I do? Um, mm, mm, let's see here. Um, let's go back up here and just to kind of show you what's going on. Well, you know what? Never mind. Let's make these even bigger. Let's do 100 pixels. Okay. So yeah, I'm not trying to make this look good. This looks like crap. I understand. But I'm just showing you that you can do multiple properties inside of this curly braces, and it will apply to whatever targets we put here. Okay, so that is the structure of HTML. Now we're going to dive deeper into what all these properties are, what all you can do with them, and try to make this actually look good. But we're going to leave it there for this video. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and create our first CSS style sheet. Now we already created a blank sheet, but we're going to actually start, instead of typing here inside the document, because this would have the same problem. Let's imagine that I created all my pages like this and I put my style here. Well, if I wanted to change, say, that brown, well, yeah, that was a horrible decision for a color. You know, I want to make all of those green now, which is another horrible decision for a color. But let's make them all green. And so what happens now is, now we have a problem because now I'd have to do that inside my About Me page and my index page. So the solution to this is to move all of this style information to this styles.css file. And then instead of typing all of this inside these HTML documents, we're just going to link that in, and whatever changes we make here will happen on all of our pages that are linked there. All right, so I hope that makes sense. So that's what we'll do in the next video. So I hope to see you guys there. Have a wonderful day. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and like and comment. I haven't mentioned that at all, but that does help me, and it helps people find these videos more importantly. So share these videos, comment, like, especially because I'm not going to be really placing these on YouTube right now as my goal. So if these are all on alt tech, share these with your friends who are only on YouTube. Let them know that there's a free resource to learn web development and that it's really good. Or if you don't think it's good, then don't share it. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying it. Have a wonderful day.